Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, the show committed to helping you grow, protect, and enjoy your money, business, and life.
Wanted to get with you. This is really something that seems to be scratching a lot of itches, and it looks like it's pretty lucrative.
Well, it's one of the best business decisions that I've made, becoming a rep.
My intent now is being in that call center is letting people know this is the real deal. You will make money, and you don't have to have a product to promote. Just get in that call center and take calls, read a script. You will make money.
I started my own personal business 10 days ago. On Friday, I have my first 2 sales come through, and I have more pending. You do the activity, you take the time, you talk to the people.
You will make money.
I am in love with it. I don't know any other way to put it.
I really appreciate all the value you give. It's a lot, right? I look up to you a lot. You're kind of a leader in an industry where there's lots of BS.
And by the way, I love your swag. This is the Terry Wilson. Really? I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started here.
Yeah, it was like 149 to 76.
Who did they beat?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Are they good?
They were okay, but then they fired their coach, Fizdale, and a couple of their players got injured, so they're competing for worst team in the league. But the point is, like 70 points or something like that is ridiculous. At that point, they probably could have played some college teams that would have put up a better fight.
Good Lord.
Kimba scored alone like 46 points.
That's like that game with Clemson. Who was Clemson playing? And they just, I looked at the score at one point. It was like 75 to 29 or something.
It wasn't even a game.
Oh. Well, anyway, hey, we've been recording. Did you know that?
I did not.
Hey, Christopher B. This is Terry Wilson with TerryWilson3.com in the TW3 studios here with Reagan. This is a pre-recorded. Reagan wanted to make sure
it's important to note this is pre-recorded because when they send in questions, they're going to be like, why is Reagan ignoring me?
Well, they're not even going to have the opportunity. That was the point. They're not. It just goes out.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying it was.
Well, I didn't send any invitations for people to be here with us now. So
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. We do allow our members and other people that are on our mailing list from time to time join us on these recordings so that we can answer their questions, anything to do with business, life, dogs. We've gotten into dog grooming here lately. I think Neil has been on the last.
How many dogs you got?
How many dogs have you got? How many dogs have you got?
Still just the one, but
still just the one. One is enough. But he always asks that. But we've got a lot of good stuff going on. We've got a conference coming up. We've got 2 tickets left, and we'll be sold out officially.
Wow.
So, yeah. So this podcast is being recorded on a Thursday night at 11:30 at night. And what is the date? March 22nd. So it'll actually go out on the 23rd. So that's tomorrow, the Friday.
Oh, okay.
So if you want in, last call to be in the Elite Conference. Got a lot of great speakers and me. So I'm the... So you got to put up with me.
Got a great crowd coming. Also, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. It's a lot of good people and me. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I've been doing this for several years now, and I've never met some of our top reps personally.
Yeah.
Got to talk to them on the phone.
That'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody.
Get to meet some of the people that we know online, but never have gotten to just spend time with in a social setting and just get to learn and get encouraged. I'm telling you guys, if, what was it, the quote that Michael Jordan said?
Which one?
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
I almost wanted to name the conference The Ceiling is the Roof.
Pay some homage to the North Carolina fans.
That's right. So, hey, can you grab that? There's some programs in that box right there. Can you grab one and bring it to me? I was going to show that. The camera's over here. But got a lot of great goodies. First of all, got some digital swag. Just hand me one in the box there, if you will. Got some digital swag here for all the people that's going to be coming. Your digital swag has come in, and also the programs have been printed, so we got those will be there. So we got that. We got the digital swag. We've got pins coming in. We've got all kinds of goodies. But listen, if you've ever wanted to have your own thing, and if you've got your own thing, it doesn't have to be. If you're an existing entrepreneur, we're going to be going over some pretty cool stuff here. Did you like it?
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Does it look all right, you think?
Very professional.
But session 1, secrets to consistent income. That's going to be a cool one. I'm going to talk about the history of this business, the genesis of it, why it works the way it does, the little secret sauce of why we make money every day. How much did I sell today personally? You saw the business. My personal business, what did I do in personal business?
Oh, you did nothing in personal business.
But how much did we do just in passive?
I think it was over a couple grand, I believe.
Yeah.
$3 grand, something
so
like that.
There you go. Once you know how to build this isn't a network marketing business.
Right.
This isn't an MLM business. This is a online direct sales business, but I didn't even sell anything.
Right. And I would imagine there are some of our reps that had probably better days than we do just because of how much.
And that's the magic of this business. Some of, I know one of them, I'm not going to mention his name, but he had a good day today.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be sharing what we do. So, and here's the thing, and I got some snarky, Reagan, you'll enjoy this. I put out a video 2 days ago, and it was called, what was it called? I don't even know what it was called. Now I have to go to YouTube and find out what it's called. But I quoted.
What did I do?
What did I do? What did I do? But I was quoting a guy that I'd heard years ago. He was doing a presentation. He was talking about when you're selling coaching packages and you're selling consulting packages, and people sometimes will push back. Well, that's too expensive. You know, the idea. It should be free. Information should be free. Well, tell that to Harvard University and Yale University. Tell that to any higher education. Yep. And so he was sharing with the audience that I was in attendance with that this gentleman came up to him and says, I would love to do your coaching package, but it costs too much. He says that there's no way, because I think he was charging like $20,000. I mean, this guy was charging some money for his stuff.
Gotcha.
And at the time, I says, how can you sell that kind of stuff? But anyway, I was even like, man, that's pretty expensive. But now that I've been in business a while, I understand how things work. But I was like, yeah, that's expensive. And his response, I love it. He said, if you think an education is expensive, try ignorance.
That's a good quote.
The point is, ignorance will always cost you more money than learning will.
Right.
And so I did a YouTube, and I'll link the YouTube to this particular. I did a YouTube little 3-minute snippet that says why it always costs more to settle instead of pursuing your dreams. The idea here is, it costs something it costs you time, frustration. I mean, I'm down 35 pounds now. What did I bring home tonight? 2 boxes of what?
Krispy Kreme.
I had none.
That's a shame, because they're pretty good.
Oak. It cost me something. I had to smell that hot now all the way down I-26 with your mother. But my cost was whatever. Hope deferred. Appetite suspended. Whatever. But there was a cost there. But you know what?
Right.
There's a benefit. And everything in life is that way. And I think what happens to a lot of people sometimes is they get conditioned by your traditional job. Well, I tried hard. I put in effort. I was here on time when you asked me to be. I did X, Y, and Z. I pushed this button, and did this task. And so I'm owed this. And in a traditional work, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
But you're trading off so much of what's called, missed opportunity. What could you have been making in that same 8-hour time period doing your own thing?
Yeah.
So it's just a cost. What did you get back? You got paid money, and you got paid the satisfaction of a guarantee.
Yeah.
And some people that honestly, some people
that can be very satisfying.
That's very and that's not a demeaning, that's not a disparaging, that's not a judgment. That's just the reality. There's
a lot of corporate jobs are like that you have to go to school for. I mean, that's just
absolutely.
But the cost was school. You have that guarantee, but you took $100,000 to
So there's nobody gets out for free. But the point is, I said all this to say this right here is free to our elite members, which are $3,000 members. Or you don't have to be a member at TW3 at all and just buy the tickets, and you can get those tickets for $12.97. Here again, $1,300. It is not free. It's not cheap. I know you can go to a lot of places, but I will put my name. I put my name on it.
I did.
And I did. You will not get the information that I know of. And I'm not saying it just because it's me. I know what we do. Right. If you're looking for a viable, legitimate way to either start a business, grow a business, or take the business you have to whole new levels, you're going to get it here. You will. And so we've got 2 tickets left. If anyone wants to come, you just go to terrywilson3.com/conference. That's terrywilson3.com/conference. Would love to have you. Would love to meet with you. We've got 10 different sessions. I didn't even go through all the sessions, but I'll link, what the sessions are. But secrets to consistent income. Chris is going to be talking about I'm going to Mars. I'm going to love. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to be talking about know thy tools. There's tools in every business. TW3 has tools. I'm going to be talking about those tools. Bill Perry's going to be talking about impact and influence. Then I'm going to be talking about the 3 P's to succeed. And then Michael's coming in talking about time management. And then session 7, impact and influence. And then I'm going to be talking about in session 8, brand yourself. Session 9, long-term commitment by Lindsay Taylor. And then the last session, podcasting for dollars instead of bowling for dollars. But we're going to show you the internal and external strategies and tools you've got to have to be successful in business. And we're going to give you a lot of free swag and fun swag, digital stuff that is going to help you grow your business. Have you been keeping up with this Facebook stuff?
Which Facebook stuff?
Well, I don't know all the details. I was hoping you would, but the overarching story is somehow Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook wasn't doing due diligence in protecting people's identity, and this company out of Boston.
I vaguely remember hearing some of that on a podcast I was listening to today. I couldn't give you any info on it, but is it bad to say that doesn't shock me? I'm not shocked at all.
You can go back in 2015.
Right.
I did a webinar, because what do? We do online marketing, right?
Right.
And I, in that webinar, showed people how if they're not advertising on Facebook, they're crazy. And the reason is because I don't know of another platform that has so much information on people.
Absolutely.
I can say, I want to put my ad in front of people in Spartanburg, South Carolina only.
Yeah.
That are between the ages of 18 and 25.
Yeah.
That come from households with this income, that have this interest.
Yeah.
I mean, and then if I know that much information about people, then I could literally, because for instance, just a real world example, and this is what this whole webinar I did back in 2015 was about. That was when the election was just hot and heavy. It was so contentious.
Yeah.
And I showed how I put pro-Trump ads up and I put anti-Trump ads up.
Right.
They were both Trump ads because he drives so much passion.
Right. That's
you're either going to love him.
That's a politically correct way to say that.
He
drives a lot of passion.
The man he is a passion magnet. And that's not including the prostitutes.
A marketer's whoa, stop. This is a marketer's dream, though. I mean,
he is a marketer's dream. Listen,
but he is a marketer. I mean,
absolutely.
Like, love it or hate it, he's a marketer.
He's a brilliant marketer.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, it's just, I watch him. I probably watch him and observe him in a different level or perspective, not level, but a perspective than most.
What I like to do is go to his tweets, and when he has one that really upsets people, whatever it is, you pick one of your handful. I like to look at what policy he's trying to pass that day.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's it seems not a misdirection, whether, not to say that's good or bad, but just.
That's not a judgment.
Yeah. You can sort of tell, like, okay, I'm going to get people talking about whatever it is. It could be out of left field. Like, even if you politically align with him, you're thinking, like, why would you say that? Like, I agree, but why would you put it that way? Like,
he is the master troller.
True. Yeah.
Trolling used to be just an online thing.
Yeah.
He's took the art of trolling.
He took it to the streets.
He took the art of trolling and put it in mainstream.
Yeah.
And to this day, I would say 70% of the country, including his supporters,
Right.
70% of the country don't get it.
Yeah. No, I would. Yeah,
They
that's
do
true.
not get what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a generation, good, bad, and indifferent. There's an older and a younger generation, both. Okay, I'm not trying to.
Right.
But they just don't get.
Yeah.
The trolling aspect of Trump.
Yeah, I think maybe my generation sort of, they're so used to online, it's sort of, it's a shock to hear someone do it in person because we're pretty reserved, like we're not, And then I think for maybe the older generation, they didn't have any of that even online, and so, it's sort of like it's this new wave of what is this man doing? Like, because if you don't even know what it is online, you're just kind of like, is he crazy? Like, is he...
Well,
does he have?
If you was to isolate just one of his tweets, just one of them, just one, and ascribe it to Obama or Bush,
any other president, really,
any other president,
yeah,
it would be the biggest political story of all time. It would be impeachable.
He sort of gave himself permission to say whatever he wanted to.
But that's the point. It's that old thing in music, right?
Yeah.
About playing with dynamics.
Yeah.
If you're always playing loud and fast, where do you go from there?
Right. Yeah.
His timbre, his music, his instrument has no dynamics. He's cranked at 12 at 120 beats a minute all day long.
At all times.
And so people are like, I don't even. It's like when you. I think the whole country feels like they've come out of a rock concert.
Yeah,
because you got that.
I was just about to. I think everybody's a little bit numb. Almost.
Yeah,
it's like
all the cilia in the ear is finally flat.
3 years ago, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he would say that," and then today it's just like, "Well, there's our president."
But he does it with great effect.
Yeah.
Like him or hate him,
right?
Think about this: the Republicans have been trying to get rid of ACA forever.
Yeah,
they've ran on it.
Hey Siri.
What is?
Hey, there goes my
Siri says, "I do not understand. What do you want, Terry?"
It's Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg heard us talking about him. But back to the story, real quick. We got off on Trump because it's so easy to do. But why is this shocking to anyone? I told people 3 years ago now that. Hey marketers, these guys over here know everything about everyone.
Yeah.
You need to be using them.
Right.
And so what happens is these marketers up in Boston, who's probably way more sophisticated than me, said, hey, we can sell political ads to candidates because we know how to use social media.
Yeah.
And we're very sophisticated.
That's the part that gets scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at how easily people are influenced just by something that gets rolling. You see one thing that happens to somebody, they do what, for example, Steve Harvey.
Right.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
How do you mess up?
Dumb.
How do you mess up just reading? Anyway, now.
And the winner is.
Maybe in, I guess the 80s, early 90s, that would have been a big deal, obviously, but it would not have gained the traction that social media afforded it because I didn't watch that. I don't watch Miss Universe.
But you've seen it 100 times.
But I've seen it 100 times because of social media. And now anytime that there's something he's in,
that's his meme.
Make sure you read it the right way. Make sure you know.
And you know what?
But that's something that doesn't even matter. That's like a sort of joke. You take things like, public housing, like, healthcare. You have these things that are important and people care about and they have good reason to care about.
And it's the livelihood.
Yeah. And you put that on a place where you can either constantly hear what you want to hear or you can constantly see what you don't want to see.
Well, I'm watching the political shows today. Well, no, I'm not watching. I'm listening to it on Sirius XM. Going to the printers to get this printed, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And that was what they were all fussing about, was because these marketers know. Well, because the way they aggregate that information is either while you're on Facebook, or even when you're off of Facebook, your browser is collecting cookies of what you're doing. So when you come back to Facebook, Facebook's going, have you ever noticed occasionally Facebook works slow?
We'll see.
That's that data dump that's slowing your operating system down.
I know.
Or your
I didn't
browser.
understand this this was when I was a little bit younger, but 3 or 4 years ago, whenever I turned 16, I had looked up a gift for the game we play every Christmas. We play with, my mom's side of the family. It's the white elephant. Everybody brings a gift. Okay.
They bring a GIF or a GIF.
It's an actual, that actually helps my point. But anyway, they bring a gift, and what I had ordered or had thought about ordering, I put it in my shopping cart and then took it off, was it's dumb, but it's a Jedi robe. It's like a bathrobe, but it's looked like a Jedi.
And then what?
To this day, that was on Amazon, and it's not in my shopping cart anymore, but to this day, every time I log into Facebook,
you're gonna see
I see bathrobes of all different assortments. I see all kinds of Jedi like capes and stuff, and it's like, I looked this up 5 years ago now, 4 years ago, and it's still I could be on a computer in the library, but I'm logging into Facebook and they've captured that information.
Yeah, because it's tied to your account.
And
that's what I was showing in that webinar that I was teaching on social media marketing. Because what I did was, it was around the time where I really started noticing it is when my Honda Pilot, when I needed to buy a new Honda Pilot, and the one I had I was wanting to trade in because it's going to need some work done. And so I went on CarMax. And to this day,
new Honda Pilot,
I see Honda Pilots on my...
Yeah.
I see, and I see Tony Robbins stuff, because I'll go to his... I'll see religious stuff.
Part of that makes me sad, though, because I don't know if you ever watched the show Mad Men, but to sort of learn what they were doing in the 60s as far as marketing stuff and sort of the finesse and all the hoops they had to jump through. And now, I would imagine at least, it's 100 times easier. You can hit the demographic, the people you want, where you want it. I mean, it's...
Well, and that's the thing we'll be talking about here. If you know your audience...
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I can sell anything to anyone as long as I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Because the hardest part about marketing is, how can I present this in a way that the masses will buy? But see, now I don't have to appeal to the masses. I can drill down. And that's what they were complaining about on these political shows, is it's creating this echo chamber. Well, of course, that's what we've been screaming about. That's why no one gets along anymore.
Right.
That's why
everything's hyper.
Everything's
hyper, like what would it be called? Sensationalized.
Yeah,
like, it's where you and I would have a conversation where we would disagree on something, say LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
Right.
We can talk about that. We can joke, and then we see each other eye to eye. So it's a joke. We understand that we differ, but it's fine. Should this be online with someone we don't have that connection with, or just online, me and you, basically?
Right.
There's that disconnect where we don't see each other face to face.
You don't see it.
And all it is you can't, like, I could say I think you're dumb for thinking Michael Jordan's a better assister than LeBron James, because historically it's fact.
But the thing is,
I'm saying, but my point is, you can smile, you can laugh, it's fine. Should I say that over Facebook?
Yeah, right.
You take it personally.
The emotion's gone. It's
and I know from personal experience, I'll be talking to people on Facebook about things I disagree with, and I get kind of frustrated, or I'll be upset from something they said, and I don't feel that, I either represented myself the right way, or they sort of put me in this box. But then when you talk to them in person, it's like, you get that hyper sensationalized way. You read it in your head. You read it like a sort of like a theatrical play where everything was ever dramatic. And what they were trying to say was something much more tame. They're much more in the middle. And it turns out, if you just talk to people personally, you'll find most people are much more in the middle than I guess what social media would.
My rule with social media, would I go to that person's house, invited over for dinner? If I was invited to a person's house, would I say what I'm about to say at the dinner table to them, to their face?
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
Because if you're not, and that's why I never post political or theological posts, hardly. And if I do, it's done in such a nuanced way. You'd have to be looking for controversy to find it, because it's just. Yeah, I've never seen anybody goes, I've been a Democrat my whole life, but Terry posted this thing yesterday, and I've converted. Vice versa. I don't know. I think people on social media like to pee in the wind or something sometimes.
Yeah. Well, people like to argue.
Well, and if you're going to argue over something that matters, like sports.
See, I was about to say, see, I have the opposite philosophy at this point in life. I don't use social media for political things. I don't use it for photos of other people. The only thing I use it for is a better version of the ESPN app. I just want to see my teams. I want to see their scores, and I want to see LeBron James highlights. Like, that is all I want.
See, here's the thing. This is what bugs me about people on social media when it comes to sports. So, Duke will beat North Carolina.
Right.
Or North Carolina.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Or North Carolina beat Duke. Well, listen, I'm going to give it. If North Carolina beats Duke, which we did 2 out of 3 times this year, 2 out of 3 we beat Duke.
True, and we shouldn't have.
Well, we didn't have the better team, but that's not.
But we did. What I'm saying is, the point is the underdog and still did it.
Well, so what I do, I give it. I'm going to give it. Well, when North Carolina, I didn't go silent. I stuck around and took it.
Yeah,
I took every one of them.
A lot of people, what they'll do is,
you people out there that go, I think
I'm going to go under the nose.
Yeah, exactly. You can give it, but don't take it. No. That's not the way this works.
Yeah. Now that being said, watch them turn around and win the entire thing.
God,
who are they playing? I mean, it's just
nobody, because all the
bunch of underdog teams that got, but somehow slipped in.
In the universe's defense, if Duke loses, they're always going to lose to a no-name team like Lehigh.
Yeah.
Or like we did.
Well, I was about to say, that's us too, though.
Oh, yeah, we lose to Wofford. So.
It still does not compare to Virginia losing to, who was it that they lost to? Number 1 seed. They got the number 1 seed. They're playing the worst team. It was supposed to be a cakewalk. They were supposed to blow them out by like 50 points is what people were estimating, and they freaking didn't. They did not do it. They lost. They lost. They had the number 1 seed, easiest road. Oh, just, if you don't follow college basketball, I'm sure this is boring you to death, but that's the beauty of college sports right there.
This is an entrepreneur show, but I tell you why I like sports is because it's so much like business.
Yeah.
It's competitive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a team sport, sometimes it's an individual sport. The stats matter.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that's why I like sports so much, because as much as I can talk about politics and stuff, at the end of the day, I like numbers. Like, if I'm going to support an argument, I need stats and data, because personally, I just don't care about feelings. And it sounds harsh, but it's just
you care about feelings, but you don't want to base a decision.
Right.
You don't want to form an argument.
It's a Ben Shapiro quote, which some people hate him, and I understand why, but he's very smirky, but it's facts don't care about your feelings.
Well, that's the truth.
And so, for me, sports is like the more enjoyable version of that. It's just a bunch of stats and numbers, and I can go, nuh-uh, because this, nuh-uh, because this.
Well, that's true.
He won here, lost here, he has this many assists, like whatever it is.
Numbers have a way of cutting through, but the problem with your argument is numbers can be spun. Anybody that's good with numbers, you can make a stat say
that's
anything.
True. I mean, you can make,
it's just the way you
I think we had a conversation about this, because AT&T for the longest time said they had the number 1 most reliable network in the country, and we both have AT&T, and all of our friends have Verizon or whatever it is. And pretty consistently at that time, at least, this was 5 or 6 years ago, we never had reception. And when we did, it was the poor version, like compared to everybody else. And I was like, how can they sit there and say, because we would travel, like wherever we would go, it was just
around here. Reception. At the time, you could be in a submarine and get a signal with Verizon.
Right.
And you could be on top of a mountain with AT&T, and it just seems like.
But then they can advertise number 1.
That's because the way they shape the numbers and stuff.
Right. Which you learned some of that taking college courses, because that's all you're basically trying to do in so many words is, I need to make an argument because she told me to, so where's some numbers that make this sound good?
That's the truth. Well, any hot topics we need to hit in business as far as just some general questions that members have been sending in to support in the last.
I'm trying to think. If you'll riff for a second. I can't think of any directly. We haven't had any consistent questions, and the ones that were consistent were the same members, and I think we sort of
handled them.
Yeah, we've resolved.
Well, guys, if you're a member of TW3, me and Reagan look forward to seeing you next week. And if you'd like to come to the conference, like I said, we got 2 tickets left, and that's it. Would love to have you. You can go to terrywilson3.com/conference. It's $12.97, but I promise you, it's going to be in Greenville, the lovely hotel in Greenville and Conference Center. So we're going to have a great time. There's going to be a lot of great content there. But if you want 2018 to be your year, to take your business and your money, your income. Listen, guys, there are so many opportunities out there now. This Facebook thing that's come out and everybody's up in arms about, there are going to be some legislation and probably some modifications because people are scared to death. But it's just, for the life of me, I'm seeing all of the, I don't know if it's faux anger and shock or if it's just willful ignorance. I don't know what it is. Like, what did you think?
I think it's, I don't know if it's willful ignorance. I just think it's ignorance. Because a while back, remember when there was that thing going around, and I apologize if you did this because I'm going to make fun of you a little bit here, but what happened was there was this copy pasta that was going around on Facebook where you would copy this and it says...
I don't ever do that kind of stuff. So.
I know, but a lot of people were, and they were copying this thing that would say like, as so long as you paste this on your status, you hold the right. Facebook has no right
the dumbest
to
thing
your,
I've ever seen.
they can't share your password. They can't, whatever it is.
No, your terms of agreement when you sign.
And that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, you realize every single time you sign in, you are agreeing to the terms
of your...
which you have never read, and somewhere in the 516th page, it probably says, yeah, at any point we can just use all of your information for whatever we want. Like, it probably does.
The problem is, and here's the problem. The problem is that, and it's on both sides of the political spectrum, so I'm going to tick off my conservative friends and my liberal friends here, but it's just...
Well, that's the best way to do it.
Get over it.
Make nobody like you.
Well, the problem is everybody's ascribing, and I'm not saying it couldn't be used for nefarious reasons, okay? I'm not saying it couldn't be, and it does need to be regulated, and I'm more libertarian on this as far as, big data, big government scares me. I like individual freedoms, individual rights.
Right.
You can already see that there's been cases where too much information in the wrong hands of people. But typically, that information in the hands of government is to control people. That information in the hands of business.
Yeah.
What are they? They're just wanting to sell you something.
Right.
They don't care, who you are, what you do, or they don't care. They're wanting to. This is what they're wanting to do.
Make money.
They're wanting to come to Terry Wilson.
Yeah.
A marketer, and say, hey, you're wanting to sell this? We know who are out there right now looking for that.
Right.
Would you like to put an ad in front of them? That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
So that we can give you this free site that you're out posting your pictures, hanging out with your friends and family. See, that's all it's about.
To me, there's some admiration in that, because there was a video, I don't know if you saw it, it was going around. I want to say it was the most recent event that was going on. It was more of a gun control type thing. That was the argument. There were some rallies on this side, some rallies on that side, for or against, whatever it was.
Right.
I think that's what it was.
Right.
But the guy was going around, he had t-shirts that he was selling to the crowds. It was like, you won't take my guns, whatever it was. He was selling it to this crowd. Once he sold out of t-shirts, he turned around and go to the next crowd. He says, whatever it was, like he was just appealing to whatever the base
He's
wanted.
A capitalist.
And selling. I was like,
I love it.
There's admiration because he's supporting both sides, however, and they're happy, but he's making money from it. Like, to me, that's what I want to be. I want to be the guy in the middle that's like, I have my cause and I have my beliefs.
I do
but
too.
At the end of the day, I just want to make some money.
And it's not that money's the over principle by no means.
Right.
But some of these people in our society today, their passions about certain topics has taken them past the point of sanity.
Right. On both sides.
On both sides.
Right. Yeah.
They're past the point, and
we're not saying that to be, pandering or anything like that, but
it's on both sides.
Pretty regularly, I think you and I, because we have pretty much the same friends, we'll see somebody that has, political affiliation one way and be like, how ridiculous is that? Like, why do you feel like anybody's mind's going to change? And then somebody else who has a political spectrum that we may agree with or disagree with is like, why would you post that? Like, that doesn't change anybody's mind. So it's not
all I can think about right now is that video you sent me with what's his face that was talking about frogs and don't mention the name.
I won't.
But you got to. But that's But people are consuming.
Well, I want to make comments, but we can't do that without giving away the name, so I'm just not going to.
Well, I'm just saying. There's
he's the definition of the person I was describing, I think.
Yeah, there's absurdity on both sides.
Right.
And you know me, I am as political minded as far as I really believe what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm theologically minded.
Yeah.
I truly have a faith, and I'm not going to waver from it. And my faith informs my worldview, and my worldview informs my politics. So, it's from the root to the fruit.
Yeah.
But that being said, I can be right beside someone who profoundly disagrees with me
Right.
on every point and love them just as much as the person that I don't understand people that can't coexist with people.
Well, that could be due to the fact that, without giving away any party affiliation, but most of your family probably just disagrees with you politically. You don't grow up in a family that agrees with you as far as politics and stuff. But I think that's probably a good thing for you, at least, and that's probably how you developed, as far as you had people that you love that you disagree with, so you understand where they're coming from and why they think the way they do, and that's not how you arrived as an adult.
Well,
like,
see,
you
I
have different thoughts.
I think where people get in trouble, and this is a good business lesson, guys. I think where people get in trouble, and where I've gotten in trouble, is you assign in your mind bad motives to people who don't agree with you.
Right. And I think people do that a lot.
For instance, some people will people that are more benevolent minded, and government should get involved and be more benevolent and give to the poor and help the poor. If they see someone that believes taxes should be cut, less spending, they're going to say, well, they just don't care about the poor.
Right.
They don't care. And this person may care just as much, if not more, and even do more on an individual basis than you do. But they feel like the way to fix the problem is different. And then this person over here that wants to be frugal, less government, they look at people that want to, and then they're saying, well, you guys just don't care about, you're not fiscally responsible. They ascribe all these negative.
Well, that's what it is most of the time, is people are trying to find a solution. It's just how they come up with their solutions.
Right.
They both agree poverty should stop. We all want poverty to stop.
Who wants poverty? Exactly. Who's running on the poverty platform? More poverty.
Yeah. But well, how do we fix it? And that's where people differ. But a lot of times, just what to keep in mind is, well, they want the same thing I do. It's just.
Now, I agree that ideas matter.
Right.
And there's some ideas that are dangerous.
Yeah.
They're just not good.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm not going to ascribe to you some nefarious motives just because you don't believe in my solution, even if I believe your ideas are dangerous.
Right. I
think that's the thing. People don't know how to debate ideas rather than debate people. And that's why it's not, as a Christian, it's not Christian.
Yeah.
My faith says you love your neighbor. It didn't say you love your neighbors who agree with you, and so I don't get.
Well, I think the more and more.
But I think people have been trolled.
Well,
and they're conditioned to
part
trolling.
Part of this is the internet. I mean, because at least I'm not super old, obviously, but I do remember a time where there was the saying, at business, you don't discuss, with most people, you don't discuss religion, you don't talk politics, like you just keep it to yourself. Whether you agree that's a good thing or not, I think today people are so open to telling you, hey, this is what I think, this is why I think, this is why you should think it too, that people are just kind of like, everybody's combating all the time. Like, it's just a nonstop.
There's only one business person that I've ever followed that went counter to that argument. I've heard it my whole life. You don't discuss politics and religion. You don't discuss it. It's just not polite company. It's not polite company.
Yeah.
And a guy that I quote all the time, you've heard his name, you probably never heard him personally, Zig Ziglar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the reason he said is because of what you believe in your faith should inform your politics, and that's the core of who you are. He says that I'm not saying not to discuss religion and politics. He says, I'm saying discuss it in a thoughtful manner.
Yeah.
And be open to have a conversation. And that's the problem. Most people cannot. It is so emotionally charged.
Yeah.
People are so, and I am too. I get it.
Well,
but the thing is,
personally, it's kind of hard not to.
I'm emotionally charged by the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
And the Atlanta Braves, but there's just seems to be something in sports where you can be emotionally attached to it and have fun with it.
That's why.
But when people get over into the other stuff, it's just like there's no separation. And I think it's because it's the core of who you are.
Right.
This isn't the core of who you are. It's just that.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I don't know.
I think that's why sports, to some sense, are completely healthy. It's because you have something, then you go, well, I hate Duke. It's like, well, why do you hate Duke? It's because
it's so deadgum easy.
Well, it's like, well, because Because I'm supposed to. That's just who I was born to hate Duke. Like
that's the way God intended it.
What do you mean why do I hate Duke?
Because you're supposed to.
And, you know, we live in South Carolina, so everybody here is Gamecocks and Clemson fans. And I have friends the same way because I've asked them. And see, most of my friends are Clemson fans.
Because we're not native to this.
We don't care.
We're like agnostic. I don't care.
I'm wearing a Clemson shirt right now, and I have 3 Gamecock shirts in my closet. I got them from friends, and I'll switch them out some days, and that drives them crazy. I mean, and I understand why, because if they were doing that with Duke and UNC, I'd be like, that is so disgusting.
It's just like Pastor Terry years ago. He's not this way now, but years ago, when he started pastoring up in North Carolina, being from down here, he would be like, I don't care, Duke, North Carolina. It was like he was sort of, and
I never understood that until
we would just look at him like, no, you have got to pick one right now.
You will pick
one right now.
Well, it's kind of this is like salvation. You better you better not be
this day, hot or cold.
But then now that we move here and everybody cares, it's just hard to, plus we don't like football that much, so it's not really.
Well, and that's sacrilege in the Southeast, especially in the SEC conference.
That's a real shame. I wish people around here cared about.
That was one of the things you had to get used to, the basketball goals.
See, that still bothers me, because if you're in North Carolina, you really can't go a few yards without finding a basketball goal somewhere. There's none here. I have to drive about 15 miles to our nearest YMCA to find any open basketball goals, and it is so depressing because it's one of my favorite sports.
It's a great state, but it could be improved.
A lot of room for development.
Oh my word! Well,
maybe with the developing Clemson team.
Did I tell you my story that I was developing? I haven't. I'm trying to come up with a witty way of saying it so I can put it in a meme. But it's basically this. It's like, can you find the tragedy in this fictitious story?
Okay.
Can you find the tragedy in this fictitious story?
All right.
Here it goes. There's a 12-passenger van going 55 miles an hour, and it's carrying Christian Laettner, Danny Ferry, Bobby Hurley.
I know where this is going, but go for it.
Grayson Allen, and it's being driven by Mike Krzyzewski. 5 Duke players.
Right.
In a 12-passenger van. In a 12-passenger van.
I know it's about to get
going
dark.
55 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden, the engine catches on fire, explodes. Krzyzewski loses control of the van and goes off a 1,000-foot embankment, going to their certain demise and exploding. Can you find the tragedy in that fictitious story?
What is it?
I hear just in thought 3 that I can pick up on. Number 1 is a 12-passenger van. There weren't but 5 of them in there, so you got room for 7 more.
So
Number
awful.
2, it was only going 55 miles an hour. Those vans will go up to 120. And 3, it was only a 1,000-foot embankment when it could have been a 2,000 foot.
That's awful. That's awful. I like it, but that's
Isn't
awful.
that great? I'm going to use that.
That's pretty good.
But I got to figure out a way of cleaning the language up so it's pithy.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you put it on a podcast first so everybody can hear it. I like it. That would be my type of humor, but that's the type of humor I leave.
Mr. Elkins, that one's for you. I think I'm going to tag you in this podcast and tell you which minute to listen to so you can hear this.
Oh, man.
Just for you. He was talking smack to me the other day. Anyway, guys, if you want to come to the conference, it is May the 29th, 30th, and 31st in Greenville, South Carolina. It's $12.97. If you want to take your money, your business, your life to the next level, you want to have a roadmap, a strategy on how to get there, and you want to have plenty of fun swag and tools, we're going to have it all there for you. I'm telling you, the speakers we have lined up are top-notch speakers, except for me. You have to put up with me. But I'm telling you, the information, the content is so. Listen, I've gone to social media conferences. I've gone to insurance conferences. Of course, back when I was in the music business, we went to the NAMM show. I'm not going to say it's great as NAMM. I'm not going to say that because I told you
it's better.
No, I wouldn't say that. I told you my Eddie Van Halen. I met him. I can't say it on a podcast where I met him at. But
well, now that sounds way worse. You might just want to say you were in the restroom.
Yeah, I
was at NAMM, but I can't tell you which part of NAMM. So
yeah, I can't tell you which part, but I was in the restroom and ran into Eddie Van Halen. Of course, I met my hero, Bill Champlin, there too at the Elisa's booth years ago, And
You're probably one of the few people that's like, yeah, I ran into Eddie Van Halen. Prince was pretty cool too. But let me tell you,
Bill Champlin.
And everybody's like, what?
Well, that's because I'm a musician.
Yeah. I see how it is. I ran into Bon Jovi, all this great.
I did.
It's pretty cool, but
Chicago, the horn players, I met them there. I met
the bass player for Chicago, and oh my gosh,
Jason Schiff. I sure did. I met him. Great times, great memories. But anywho, if you guys want to be at that conference, we want you there. It's going to be able to take your money, your business, your life to new levels, and we would love to help you basically wrap a business around your passion, put a purpose in your paycheck, and take you to the next level. Until next time, this is Terry with TerryWilson3.com. Hey, remember, if you want to go to the next level, you have to grow to the next level. And that's why I want to give you a free copy of my new book, You Are Worth More. Go to TerryWilson3.com/worthmore now.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com. If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com or call 800-673-1728.
Man, it's a great system here. This is good stuff here. I wish I found this company 10 years ago.